Hi Virgo, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign, but check them out for all three so that you know which part of you I resonate with most as a reader. Remember, these are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. There's no astrology in these, so check them out for all three so that you know. With that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, and I also forgot to mention, if you are a continued subby, you know Raffi loves you, and if you're new to my channel and you want some of that Raffi love, hit the subscribe button. So your jumping card there is the death card. Endings, completions and culminations are what this week is really all about for you. Remember, the death card isn't always literal death. Very often it's the closing of a door, right? The end of a chapter, the full stop of a sentence, right? This is where something comes to a close or something comes to an end. And interestingly enough, obviously this week we do have the full moon lunar eclipse, which for you, especially if you're an ascendant Virgo, I know I said I wasn't going to talk astrology, but right, this is happening in your no, it's your second house. I was going to say your 12th house. It's not. It's your second. But either way, that is a culmination point. It's an ending, a completion, or a culmination of some sort. So for your actions and options, you have the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles as an experience tends to show up about self-care. This is about proliferation and working on or through to get the best or the most out of what you have. Now, with the Death card here, though, this can speak to a time where you are letting go of not looking after yourself, where you're phasing out the experience of maybe taking on too much of other people's stuff. Maybe this is a time where you're letting go of the idea that you need to do for others what they can actually do for themselves. Virgo is a sign that is so service orientated that it really cares about other people. And one of the things that I've observed about Virgo energy, they will show up for you, but one of the ways that they tend to show up is like, rather than do all of the gushy sort of, oh, let me hug you and stroke your hair while you cry, they'll just kind of say, look, you know what, I've done your shopping, your cleaning's done and all the rest of it. They tend to support you on a really practical level because that's how they show you that they love you and they care for you. But this is you releasing that experience. This is you saying, it's not for me to look after you anymore. You have to do this for yourself. And that can be a really difficult experience, especially where you're so used to doing it. Now, in terms of the options that are available to you this week, the Queen of Pentacles, it really is giving you an opportunity for self-growth here. And one of the ways that you're going to do that is by not doing for somebody else what they can do themselves. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Knight of Swords. So you might need to kind of be very vocal about this, right? You might need to kind of actively say, I'm no longer going to participate in or do this, thing, this A, B, or C. There's also a possibility that you might be deciding to end an argument or a dispute of some sort this week by really getting into it. Usually Virgos will sort of find a way to diffuse a situation. This week I feel like you're kind of going to drive straight into it and say, no, you know what, we do need to hash this out and here's how we're going to do it. And with that Death card, the invite here is to kind of say, okay, we're done with this experience and now I'm going to squash it. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, the Knight of Swords is giving you an option here to really go against the grain in some way. And with the Queen of Pentacles, which is effectively your card, I forgot to mention, this is an archetype of you, right? It's a part of who you are because it's usually an earth sign person, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. But with this Knight of Swords, it's like you're communicating from a place of authenticity to say, I'm willing to go there if you are, and if that's what it takes, I will meet you at that place. If you are employed by somebody else, this could be it's possible that some of you could be either rethinking the commute to work or seeking some sort of compensation for it. So maybe you say to your boss, right, I'm going to need you to pay me mileage because I'm spending so much money on fuel just to get to and from work that it's no longer really sort of making any financial sense. It could be as well for a select few of you, maybe there's something that you've been promised here, and where usually you wouldn't sort of say anything, it's like, no, I'm going to speak up now, right? I'm not having this experience where I'm out of pocket. I'm not having this experience where I am expected to just kind of toe the line or not complain. You are complaining, but you're doing it in a way that you know is fair for you. It's like you're advocating for yourself in a way here. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, that Knight of Swords, it really does, in a way, it provides you with the oomph that you need to go after either a different sector, a different arena, or a different client base. You could be letting go of a clientele at this time. You could be letting go of a service. You might be retiring a service. You might be letting go of something that you have offered as part of your business, or something that you always sort of believed in. There's something here that you're phasing out because you realize that it's no longer either viable, or maybe, just maybe, it's something that's been taken advantage of. So it didn't happen very often, but whenever I used to do my live reads, I found out early on that there was someone who was signed in from various different accounts and was posting the same question through that, so that they had sort of more chances at the apple. And I thought that was really, unfair. Like, I do... Anyway, soapbox moment. For your those of you that are retired and no longer working, that Knight of Swords, there is a chance here. You might hear of a passing, and this will be somebody that is from your youth. Someone that you knew as a teenager. You could hear, and this will likely be a fellow earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. You might hear that somebody that you hung around with as a teenager, maybe a friend of yours. I won't say that they'll be really close, but they will be somebody that you spent enough time with to kind of be like, oh wow, I can't believe this has happened. I touch wood, I hope I'm wrong. For your love and relations, you've got the Star card. I actually like this. I think for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, if this is you hashing something out with your partner, you actually garner more respect from them. And actually it sets a really wonderful tone to move forward, where you and your partner kind of feel like things are back on an even keel. Maybe they've been waiting for you to kind of step up and take the lead in some regard. Maybe they've been waiting for you to kick back or to push back in some way. Maybe they've been waiting for you to kind of come forward and say, hang on a sec, this is where I want us to go as a collective, and I don't feel like you sort of are on board with that. The Star card is a glimpse into the future, right? And so this, with the Queen of Pentacles, there is a chance here for your relationship not only to flourish and to thrive, but also for for it to be the best that it can. It's going to require a hard conversation. It's going to require you to kind of move things forward, and also to envision the future together. For those of you that are single and looking, I gotta be honest, if you've been having an internet flirtation, this might be that week. I touch wood and I really hope I'm wrong, but you might get ghosted this week. And if that is the case, my advice would be cut your losses and run. They will return. Make no mistake about that. They will return. And when they do, you give them the Knight of Swords, right? Read them the writing act. Now, for your money and materials, you've got the Six of Swords. So moving away from difficult, challenging times when it comes to the resources. But with the Six of Swords, there's a possibility that some kind of financial, something that you've paid for, maybe a trip or a journey, some form of travel that you've paid for already, or potentially even a vehicle. I wouldn't say it's a vehicle. It looks like a trip, to be honest. That might not go ahead. And you might have, I hope I'm wrong, you might have a bit of a problem trying to extract your funds from whatever it is that you've paid for. But you're in the right, and to be fair, you will get your money back. It just might be a slower process than you had hoped. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Six of Swords tends to show up as the nervous system. And with the Death card here, This could be, because the death card tends to be your reproductive system. So what I will say is, you might have this, what I'm hearing in my brain is something mimics the symptoms of, obviously I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice, this is not a diagnosis, but if you're having something that you think is one thing, go to your doctor and tell them, because it may actually be something that comes up or shows up in a similar way. All right. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, the Six of Swords, you and a partner are both spending an extended period away from home this week. It's so weird. Like, in some regard, that message has shown up for basically, all of the signs in some way. So, it looks like there's going to be a lot of people displaced from home this week for any number of reasons. When it comes to, that's it. So if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. And with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Take care, and I'll see you soon.